Hi, I'm Zita Bano, and the book that I'm going to talk about today is Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Dostevesky. Reading this book was not easy, but I think pronouncing this name, Fyodor Dostevesky, was a task in itself. Like, I had to practice it for at least 20 to 30 minutes so that I can pronounce his name right. But anyway, Crime and Punishment, I was really interested in that book because a lot of people who are interested and invested in psychology, they often recommend this book, and people such as Jordan Peterson has recommended this book so many times, and I have watched so many videos of Jordan Peterson recommending that book that I thought that I need to read this book. Because you see, I am a person who's very curious, and I am someone who is intrigued by human psychology, so I definitely want to know more about it. And it is considered one of the first of its kind. This book, Crime and Punishment, it is considered the first psychological thriller, so I thought, why not? Basically, it is a story of a student, Raskolnikov. So Raskolnikov is someone who's living in abject poverty, and now he is in that kind of situation where he is not just unable to afford his education, but also he is now unable to afford his food. He is just starving, so he pawns off last of his belongings, and while he is doing that, he conjures up this idea that if he kills that pawnbroker, he will not only benefit himself, but he will also be doing humanity a kind of a favor. Because you see, that pawnbroker is a wretched old woman, and she is hated by almost everyone in the town, of course, because she is taking advantage of other people and she is living off of other people's misery. So he thinks that killing her would actually benefit the society, and he actually commits that murder. Raskolnikov, after committing that murder, he is not only justifying that murder in his head, but he also thinks that he did the right thing. So you get to understand a criminal psychology, because a criminal thinks whatever that he did was very much justifiable and it was the right thing to do, and what he did, there was nothing wrong in that. And I remember reading the book How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. That book starts off with one thing: don't criticize other people. And in that chapter, Dale Carnegie also speaks of a serial killer who, after committing so many murders, said that I am a good person at heart, which means that a criminal who's committing these heinous crimes, they think that they are doing something right. They don't think that they are doing anything wrong. And that is the case with Raskolnikov as well. After killing that pawnbroker, he not only rationalizes it, but then there is something that is even more fascinating that starts happening, and that is that he actually starts thinking how cunning he is and how intelligent he is, because he's making a fool out of everybody. He has committed a murder and nobody is able to catch him, so he starts mocking other people in his head too. And it wasn't about the main character only. Every character that the writer introduced, and that is one thing that was commendable about Fyodor's writing, was that every character, even that character was for just a chapter, you get to remember that character because you start understanding that person, you start understanding the psychology of that character. And Fyodor does that without directly explaining that, and that was something that was remarkable, and I have never come across something like that in fiction. Usually I'll give you an example of Great Gatsby. When you are reading The Great Gatsby, Fitzgerald, he explains the character, or he explains the personality of Jay Gatsby through Nick. Nick is completely explaining his personality, what his mentality is, what his approach towards life is, and why he is doing what he is doing. So Fyodor has a completely different method of explaining the character or familiarizing the character to the reader. What he does is that he doesn't explain the character, he doesn't tell you anything about the approach of that character, the mentality of that character, but you get to know that character through the kind of interactions that a character is having with other characters. You see, there is a character of Raskolnikov's sister in the book as well. So you start understanding Raskolnikov's sister's mentality through the kind of actions that she is doing, and also how she is defending her actions and how she is telling other people what she is doing is justified. This was something that was unique in Fyodor's writing, and as I was saying, two things that I said before, and I want to talk about them a bit more. One is that even Fyodor, if he has introduced a character for just just one chapter. Like there is a character of a doctor that I think is in one chapter, and the pawnbroker's niece, I think she was also in just one chapter, but you get to remember that character. Usually when you are reading, and if there are too many characters, after finishing that book you forget these characters. But how Fyodor explains those characters, and not directly, indirectly explains those characters, you remember all of the characters in this book. And the second thing is, usually when I am reading fiction, I have one pet peeve, and that is usually when two characters are interacting with each other, or they are in some sort of an argument, or they are in a conversation, one character is not defending himself or herself to the best of her abilities. For example, what I meant was that usually when you see even movies or even seasons, there is one character that is fighting, or there is one character that is blaming the other person, then the other person is quietly listening to that person, or the other person is going to say something which is completely irrational, doesn't make any logic. But we human beings in life were very logical beings, and that is something that happens in Crime and Punishment. If there is one character who is blaming the other character will try her or his best to explain his stance. He or she will give you the most logical of the arguments that a normal person would give. So this was something that I really enjoyed in this book, and I do believe, and I want to believe, that this is a Russian thing. I say this because I have read in English literature, I have read Desi literature, and let's not talk about modern literature at all, because I do believe that modern literature is very shallow. But even in English literature, if they are talking about a taboo subject, I do believe that they don't completely get into it. Like, it's very superficial approach that they usually take, and I think it's too early to make an assumption, but still I want to do that. I believe that Russian writers, if they are talking about a taboo subject, or if they are talking about something which is controversial, they will go into the depth of that topic. If we talk about Lolita, in Lolita, you see, it was very controversial, it was a very taboo topic, it was about pedophilia, and when the writer was talking about it, the writer did not shy away. And that is the case with Crime and Punishment as well. The writer here is sort of justifying a criminal activity. Okay, so as I was saying that, I forgot what I was saying. Yeah, I was saying that that is the case with Crime and Punishment, that the writer, when he was talking about this loaded subject, he was trying to explain that a criminal who has committed a murder, how he is justifying that murder. And when I was reading this in the beginning of the book, I was somewhat agreeing with Raskolnikov, like the kind of logics that he was presenting you with, how wretched that woman was, and how everybody was troubled because of her, and how he did humanity a good, like how he was rationalizing in his head, you sort of start agreeing with it. And that is the case with Lolita as well. When he is explaining the beauty of that girl, you start thinking like him, and that I think something which is exclusive to Russian literature. Again, I am admitting that it's just too early to make an assumption, but here I am making this assumption. And I also think that Fyodor has explained so many different themes in this book. Like, I think the theme of nihilism is discussed in this book, the moral dilemmas, morality itself, what is the truth, what is morality, is morality that we practice, is it even true, does it even make sense? That is something that is extensively discussed throughout the book. And also one thing that I've enjoyed the most in this book is that the writer somewhat explains the psychology of poverty, like why a person would commit a murder because of the poverty that he's facing, how his poor mindset, how his starving tummy is making him think. That is something that is also discussed in this book, and when you're reading it, this is an underlying theme. And I also remember watching a TED talk about poverty and the psychology of poverty. I'll find it and I will put it in the description box. Do watch it, it's very informative. Anyway, I can go on and on about this book, and I think the video is getting really long, but the thing is that this is the kind of book that took me a month to finish. Like, literally, I read this book in a complete month. I took 30 working days to read this book, because You cannot skip a single line from this book. As I said, that the writer is not directly explaining the characters. You get to know the characters by the kind of conversations that they are having, and if you miss a single line in that conversation, you are missing the entire point. You won't understand what this person was saying and how this person was making sense, what was the logic behind it. So you'll have to go back and read that line again. So it took me a month to read this, so I can go on and on about it. Usually I start another book right away, but I am still not reading anything, and it's been a week or two that I have not been reading anything, and I'm still thinking about this book. I would definitely recommend you to read this book if you are someone who's curious what makes a person commit a crime and how that person then justifies that crime, what goes on in a mind of a criminal. You should definitely go for this book. You should definitely read it. Even if you want to enjoy a high quality book with immaculate writing, then you should definitely go for Crime and Punishment. I cannot stress enough that how much I like this book and how much I would love it if you would read this book, because I recommended it. It would mean a lot. So yeah, that's about it. See you next time with another video.